Hello ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between, Molten AMF here, and today I am finally continuing the AC6 Speedrun Guide series after, oh goddamn, 5 months, my bad. Anyway, today's topic, the builds we'll be using and the routing. No point keeping you waiting any longer, let's just get into it. First things first, I've got to add a few parts onto the parts list after some new runs. The Nebula, Plasma 3-cell missiles, and the Hand 4-cell are being added into niche use. I overlooked the Nebula as a worse 760 PR due to its higher cost, lower blast radius, and slower charge time. However, the faster firing speed and the different charge attack do produce a unique niche. The Plasma 3-cells were used in Rock Volnut's latest world record run in Grid 086 and Coyotes, where they didn't need the extra locks to hit more enemies and the faster reload improved the DPS. And the lower cost is also nice. The 4-cells should have been on the last list before, but I was dumb and completely forgot about it. The 4-cells are a viable alternative to Napalm for the Dam and both Striders. Additionally, R5 also uses an alternative build at the start of the run, which I will talk about in a moment. Additionally, the Coral Missile is being promoted into niche use. R5 managed to hit the first ever tunnel skip in his latest run, showing that the skip was run viable, giving the Coral Missile niche use. To begin, the first build we use, nicknamed Wally West. I'll refer to the builds by their nicknames, just for ease of use and brevity, which, by the way, most of these builds were named by my chat. This build consists of a 760 PR, Bunk, Plasma 6 cells, and 8-cell verticals, and a Missile Lock FCS. And for simplicity's sake, assume all the builds I'm talking about have the frame of internals of the standard speedrun, aka TK Head, Lamb Core, Barsho Arms, Jailbreak if no melee, for Meza Legs, Bazel, and Santai. This build is used for Artillery, Grid 135, and Tester. 760 PR is used for hitting turrets from the front and insta-killing groups of MTs. 6 cells are similar, they help take out groups well. The verticals can hit 8 light enemies and can hit turrets behind as well. The Bunk is used for the Tester and is purged for the other missions. The Verts are purged for the Tester as well. The Multi-Lock FCS is used for the amount of multi-locks required here. Alternatively, you can use R5's new run, switching the 760 and Bunk for the Nebula and Hand 4-cell. This build is a little faster, using the 4-cell to maximize speed in Grid 135. Unfortunately though, this build leaves no room for error, and is more inconsistent. But again, it is faster. This build is not used for Tester though, the next build is used instead. The second build is Psycho Soldier. Napalm, PFAL, and Dual Earshot. The FCS can be PO1 because the build is mostly manual aim, but I would recommend PO5 for slight consistency benefit. This build is used for Destroy Helicopters, Dam, and both Striders. Earshots are used for sniping the high health helicopters, taking out lots of fodder, quickly killing the Strider, and easily eliminating Weevils and Wheels. Napalm is used for fodder killing, easy gen destruction, and high damage to Institute machines, and the PFAL is used for sniping the gens at the Dam. Alternatively, you can use R5's variation with NGI Gen and Lamb Head. The normal missions are the same, but this build is also used at Tester. Coral AA lets you hit a 1 cycle against the Tester, but it is a precise kill and the Coral Gen does slightly slow you down for the other missions. Here we also have the first routing decision of the game. Never betray the Red Guns. Doing so makes the mission itself slower, but also forces you to do Prison Rescue next, which is one of the slowest missions in the entire game. And of course, you either choose normal or escort the Strider, depending on the category of the run. The third build is Green Beret, Napalm, Dagger, and Dual Turrets, used exclusively for Wall Climber. This build is optimized for a fast Juggernaut kill and is also effective for the rest of the mission. Fourth build is Fly Swatter, Dual Javelin Alphas, and a Walt Rifle. This build is used for Logs and Arsenal. Logs can be done with any build, but because we don't need a melee next mission, we can use the build for Jailbreak Arms extra speed. Logs is just purge everything anyway and movement. In Arsenal, however, we use the Javelin Alphas because they kill the ghosts very well, and the Walt Rifle facilitates a double kill. Fifth build is Red Rum. Zim, Sweet 16s, Bunk, and PFAL. The orientation of the build is very important, and it also has NGI and Lamb Head. This build is used for Arsenal, Obstruction, and Watchpoint. Sweet 16s can be replaced with Napalm for a faster but riskier alternative in True End. This build is explicitly made to beat Voltaeus, but also works very well for Arsenal Obstruction. Might try to optimize Obstruction sometime later, but for right now, this build works well. The sixth build is Grape Slushy, Napalm, Bunk, and Dual LCS. This build is used for Grid 086, 1 cycles a cleaner, there's not too much to say. The seventh build is Sky High, Dual PFAL and Napalm. It's used for a quick and consistent Coyotes. Sneaking in a 7.5 build, because I almost forgot it, we have Flame War. Javelin Alpha, Napalm, Bunk, and Kranich, on the V20B with Mindbed Head. This build is used for data breach. Because there isn't much distance between the drones, we don't actually need lots of capacity here, so we can use the 20B for damage and lower weight. The weapons are optimized for a fast Iguazu kill and the Javelin helps for the ghosts. Eighth build is Hawk Wasp. Bunk, Chainsaw, Napalm, and Yule with the NGI Gen and Lamb Head. The loadout is optimized for a fast Spider 1 cycle, and the NGI gen is used to pull off the Ocean Skip. Knife build is Baja Blast, dual 16s, PFAL, and Laser Blade. Used for survey data and Ectromoy. Everything but one Sweet 16 is purged for survey. The build is optimized for a fast Ectromoy kill. You can swap out the 16s for another PFAL for a faster survey, but it does require a much tighter and difficult to execute Ectromoy. The 10th build is Hot Dog. Bunk, Chainsaw, Sweet 16s, and Fazan for New Game, and replace the Fazan with a Javelin Alpha for New Game Plus. The Fazan is used for a helicopter kill, and the Javelin is used for ghost kills. This build is used for Swinburne, Tunnel, Xylem Survey, and Cataphract. There are 2 route choices here. Tunnel and HCLC kill, and Enforcement Squad and Cataphract. Excluding the skip, Tunnel and HCLC are relatively similar in time. However, HCLC forces you into the branch fight, which is slower than Raven. The Cataphract is chosen over Enforcement because it's a lot faster. Bunk Chainsaw is essential for Helicopter and Cataphract, and is also very good for Dolmine. Bunk and 16s are used for Swinburne, and in True End you don't need the Fazan because there's no Helicopter, so you use the Javelin for fast ghost kills. There's many purges here, so it will be explained in the individual mission videos. The 11th build is Frog, dual PFAL, Bunk, and Javelin Alpha. It's used for missile defense, spaceport, air survey, and export denial. This build is optimized for sniping the ships at spaceport. It's used at missiles and survey because the Frog is slightly faster than the builds used before and after, and it's also very good for export denial, being able to snipe the coal transports. The 12th build is Shadow the Hedgehog. Bunk, 16s, and dual stun needles, with NGI and Landhead. Shadow is arguably the best speedrun build. If you need to kill a guy, this build could do it well. This is the most used build in the speedrun. It's used at Brute, Raven, Iceworm, Depth 1, 2, and 3, O'Keefe, Cell 240 Ibis, Soul Pit, Xylem Defense, and Freud. With valid use cases at Vespers, Rusty Flatwell, Carmen Line, and Air. You could legitimately use this build from Brute to the end of the game. Due to the sheer number of use cases, the specifics will be discussed in the individual videos. Another build I almost forgot. 12.5 is it's kind of got no name because I don't use it myself. But, you know, R5 uses it, so, I'll call it Fiver. Fiver is 2 earshots and the Volt Blade, with a VP Ormalander core and the Mind Beta head and, notably, Pulse Armor. This build is used for a fast Depth 1. The Volt Blade kills the first enemies instantly, and dual earshots can snipe the Nepenthes. I personally don't use this build myself because I find the sniping incredibly inconsistent, and it is notable time loss if you miss, so I prefer the security of Shadow. Regardless, definitely needs mentioning. The 13th build is Turkish. Dual Javelin Alphas, Bunk, and Kranich. This build is made for a perfect Vespers, and using this build also means being able to use Santai for Rusty Flatwell. At this point you choose the Vespers, because Vespers are a lot faster than Red Guns, and facing Vespers also mean you get Flatwell next mission, and the time it takes to kill Flatwell is actually faster than doing the original mission. After Escape, you have to choose between Fires and Liberator. The common consensus that Fires is faster, however top 3 speedrunner Cardinal does say that Liberator could be faster with a perfect attempt. However, Liberator is more difficult and has way more opportunities for failure. Chatty and Carla are subject to mistakes, Snail TS1 cycle can give you some trouble, and Walter is very subject to RNG. Whereas I feel like the biggest problem in Fi is that Rusty can be occasionally annoying. I'll discuss the Liberator builds in their individual mission videos. The 14th build is Freebird, dual PFALs, Bunk, and LCS. This build is used for Carmen Line. The dual PFALs are used for sniping the ships, and the LCS is used for the Rusty kill. It also uses VE-20A and Lambhead for minimal weight. The 15th build is Starpiercer, Bunk, Chainsaw, A2 Bubbles, and Kranich. Used for the air kill. Dual Bubbles are used for the shield break, and Chainsaw and Bunk are used for the quick kill. The 16th build is Toad, dual earshots and Napalm. This build is used for MAA and Xylem Hack. The final part is up to personal choice. I personally use Barsho Bunk for the consistent pay to kill, but the stun baton on Jailbreak arms can also achieve the kill at a faster speed, but it is a little less consistent. The stun baton lets you use Santai, but the Bunk requires a lighter gen. I use Hakushi because if you don't redline, it provides a similar performance. And Xylem Hack doesn't require a melee, it's mostly just earshot sniping. And the final and 17th build is Heaven Piercer. Bunk, Chainsaw, Redshift Rifle, and Earshot. This build is also on a order to accommodate the weapons, and it's optimized for the all-mine kill. As for the new game build, this is the progression of the build as the game goes on. After artillery, you purchase a right-hand Rensetsu rifle and the left shoulder 4-cell. The Rensetsu can easily kill MTs and helicopters, and the 4-cell is good for extra damage on large targets and targeting many small enemies. Before Wall Climber, you purchase a right-hand Halderman and a left shoulder LCS. It needs to be left shoulder so you can sell the 4-cell later. Halderman is great for stagger extensions and impact, and the LCS is great for damage and burst impact. After Wall Climber, you sell the 4-cell and the Rensetsu and purchase a right side LCS, Narc Core, and VP20D. And if you can afford it at the moment, P10 FCS. Dual LCS is just really good, and Narc Core and VP20D greatly improves mobility. Now, I would like to mention, this build has not been altered for a long time. I actually think there might be an optimization of VP46S arms and the laser blade with the VP and Melanda legs that could be used because of the buff to the laser blade and VP arms. I haven't tested the difference of the travel speed versus the speed of the quick kills between the two builds, but I am mentioning this now so you can keep it in mind for when we discover it later. After logs, you do Rummy's Arena to get 1 soul armor and kicks from West tuning. After Watchpoint, you purchase a bunk, a right-hand napalm, and a TK head. TK head should be purchased as soon as possible, however, it isn't of high priority compared to some of the other parts I mentioned earlier. The bunk is a massive power boost, and the napalm is very useful for the next few missions. After Sea Spider, you purchase right-hand Sweet 16s, Barsho arms, and Femeza legs. 16s are a power boost, Femeza legs improve speed, and Barsho arms improve speed and damage. Before Spaceport, you purchase the Lamb Core for a mobility buff. At Iceworm, you get the right side stun needle, in which you will equip, and then afterwards you will purchase a left-hand stun needle, as well as swap the generator to Aorta, which you should have picked up at the helicopter mission. And this is the final build that is used for the rest of the game. And with that, that should be all of the build and routing knowledge you should need for the speedrun. Next up will be the speedrun tech video, and then the individual mission videos. So if you want to see them, please subscribe so you don't miss it. As well, I've got my Twitch, Discord, and Patreon linked in the description if you wish to engage in the community more, or you wish to support me further. So please consider following up on those if you can. But now, I actually have a very exciting announcement. On the 8th of February, 8 AM Australian Western Standard Time, or 7th of Feb, 7 PM Eastern Standard Time, I'm going to be doing a 24-hour live stream of concert Armored Core 6 speedruns to raise money for National Breast Cancer Foundation Australia. And our donation goal will be the exclusive maid outfit. So, I sincerely hope that you will be able to make it and donate as well. And now to thank my Patreons. Thank you so much to KZ2Late at Zehe tier, and SGRB Sama at Rossi tier. And with that, thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Bye!